In this video, I'm going to show you how to find repossessed properties off market. Essentially, you can approach the people selling these properties before they even get it to the market. Now, what am I talking about? Now, most people tend to go to Rightmove to look for deals and look for all these special cases. Now, you don't have to join any estate agent's black book in order to access what I'm about to share with you today. But the key aspect for you to remember in today's session is that all of this is done for you by an AI agent using Claude Code skills. Now, what are Claude Code skills? Skills are an aspect of Claude, the LLM, which help you execute commands and operations in the background without you having to lift a finger. Now, today we're pointing that opportunity and that potential at sourcing properties off market, especially repossessed properties. Now, within the UK, there are two ways you can approach, or there are two areas where there's information that, when combined, would give you that edge in order to help you get those properties that are off market. What am I talking about? When a business purchases a property in the UK, they may purchase that property with a mortgage. So a lender's provided the financing to purchase this property. If that business is no longer able to fund the mortgage on that property, the lender can seize the property back and then try to recover its loan on that property. Recovering the loan entails sending the property to an LPA receiver. The LPA receiver is essentially the individual or the company that's responsible for disposing of the property and recovering as much of the debt as possible. Now, this presents us with a magnificent window if you are well positioned. What is the window? The time between the LPA receiver receiving the instruction from the lender and the LPA receiver phoning the estate agent or placing the property in an auction. You can approach them and offer to purchase the property before it goes there, because technically the moment they receive the instruction from the lender, the property is up for sale. Now, how do you have access to all of this information? Let me just display what that looks like. So you've got your Claude Code skill here on the left hand side, and the Claude Code skill then runs in the background, goes to Companies House. Within Companies House, it is searching every single company for a specific status. We'll have a look at what that status is. If it sees that status, it then brings information back, including the company's ID, the company registration number, and information relevant to that property, to that company. Now, with that information, it takes that information and goes to Land Registry. So this second operation occurs where we go to the Land Registry. So going to the Land Registry with information is just received from Companies House, it's going to Land Registry to say, do you have this number or this company in your list or on your list, and what properties does that company own? Can you see that? So firstly, it goes to Companies House. It says, okay, where are the companies that are currently going through insolvency or have this status applied to them? Okay, I get this list. Which ones of them have this specific code that means that they deal in real estate? Okay, here's the list. It takes that list, it goes to Land Registry. I have this list of companies that have had insolvency or some special status assigned to them. Do they own any properties? So Land Registry, which maintains a list of all businesses that own properties in the UK and makes it freely available to you, will then give you the list back. It is that then tells you, okay, this has come back. Let me find the LPA receiver that's responsible for disposing of this property and then make my offer. So what does that look like? Let's look at the Companies House to begin with. So this is the registry. You can type any command. I'm sure there's a company called Apple, maybe. You could just say, okay, Apple Limited. We don't know what that is, but here's a bit of information about this Apple company. This company number is the unique number, and obviously the name is unique. This one's been dissolved, right? So imagine this was a company. What then happens is we take this number and then you go to Land Registry. Land Registry has information similar to this, right? The company registration number, right? So it has a company registration number. So with this, you can then see if there's any property that it owns. Mind you, it already has the status set that it's in liquidation or is going through that status. So that's what you look for. Now, it is the Claude Code skill that goes through this process and makes sure that the numbers do match. So how do we do this with Claude Code skills? Now, if we go into our Visual Studio here, where this file is saved, this is what the skill looks like. You create yourself a folder, and within that folder, you open up Claude. So here we've got this folder. My folder is called Week One Property Deals. Within this folder, we create this file called claude.md. Now, this claude.md is a parent file that controls how the agent is going to operate and tells the agent about the skills. And within the same folder, you create another folder called .claude, and within .claude, you create a skills folder. Within the skills folder, you create the skill that you want to operate. Now, in this case, the skill is called find off market. So find off market then has a file called skill.md, and within skill.md, you give it the instructions. So within my skill.md, this is the find off market property. I'm saying find off market repossessed properties not yet listed with estate agents. Search Companies House for recent LPA Receiver appointments, then cross-reference it against the HM Land Registry UK Companies dataset. So that's exactly what it does. So rather than you having to do it manually, it does it on your behalf and does it for whichever area you're interested in. So we can also pass it additional information like, okay, the area to look for and how many days within which that instruction would have been given. So when you have the skill, find off market with the skill.md and you've given it the instruction, within here you'd have to trigger it, all you have to do is type slash. This gives you the different skills that are available. So here you can see I've got find deals, find off market, and you've got other ones. So find off market, then I give it the area, and then how many days, 60 days. So anything published within the last 60 days, and then I press enter, and then it goes off and starts processing that. So here's an example of one I created earlier. And that's what we're looking at before. So this is it. Okay, so I had it run against London, as you can see up here, and it says LPA receiver appointments filed in the last 60 days, okay, from Companies House. What did it find? It found 61 companies with receivers, 11 properties. So it's not every single one that has that status that will have properties, but 11 of them do have, and they're 11 freeholds. And then it's given me this first one. So this top one is the top opportunity. And what is the opportunity here? There's a property owned by or previously owned by DNZ Construction, paid 2.1 million for it, and it's also saying that this same company owns another property called with the address of 126 Weatherall Drive. Okay, so we can say, all right, let's see what the filing is. If you click view filing, it would open this up. So this is a status that I was referring to earlier. So receiver action. Okay, so it gives you the receiver action, and so that means that there's that action taking place. So this is insolvency case. The receiver manager is appointed. This is the practitioner. I imagine this is the receiver. So you want this information. So these are the people you'd approach in order to get to make that initial offer. So how does this help us then? So we know the receiver. We know that there's a receivership taking place, and we know that it may not yet be on the market. So this property may not yet be on the market. So what do? We want to make an offer. So how do we approach them after we've gone through all of our initial due diligence? It's not a very complicated process. You just get the information, you either phone them or you send them an email saying, I see that you have this property on the market or ready to go to the market. I want to make an offer. I'm a cash buyer. I have my finances in place. Are you accepting offers? And that's it. Don't I say yeah or nay? So imagine running this every single day and storing this information, and then you see a new one pop up and you send a message straight away. You can't be more than you can't be one of maybe more than 5 or 10 people. It can't be more than 1 in 10 people that would do the exact same thing. But the wonderful thing is the sending of the email you can automate. The finding of the LPA receiver, I've shown you where you can get that from, so you can do that too. That's automated. And the response to it comes into your inbox, and you can use another skill or another AI to pick that information up. So that is how you can find opportunities off market before anyone else sees it. So technically, it's on the market, but no one else is seeing it, just the receiver and the lender and yourself, because you're doing this proactive work, and you don't have to do this manually. If I showed you what the land registry file looks like, we can see an example already when I looked earlier, but this is a file. It wouldn't even open on this laptop because it's just so huge. So a human having to do this is